Alrighty everyone, welcome back to the channel today. I've got another video for you this time. It's all about the Brosnan era of Bond games. I'm recording all these videos, pretty much back to back, and I'm unfortunately not feeling super well. But I do have some family coming up here to visit, so I want to make sure I have everything recorded for the next couple weeks, so I don't have to dip out to start recording. But I digress on that point. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you guys are ready for this. I have not played all of these games, so forgive me. I also haven't played all the variations because I know some of them came out on console. There's also Game Boy versions and PC versions of some of these games that are wildly different than the version I played or the console version. So yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at that. Starting off with probably what is one of the most iconic games of all time. You can already see it down there. In GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. Let me get that off. You don't want to see all that. Yeah, GoldenEye for the Nintendo 64. Absolutely revolutionized, first-person shooters, especially at that time, right? I mean, it's just a fantastic game. I did not play it when it came out. I played it much more recently. Well, I did play it when I was younger, one time at my friend's house, but my family and I have never owned a Nintendo 64, so when I've played this, it's always been at someone else's house or whatnot. Up until recently, when they got it on Nintendo Switch for the N64 expansion pack or whatever, if you pay for Nintendo Switch subscription, and then of course on Xbox, who currently own Rare. I got to play that for free on Game Pass. So I mostly played on Xbox for the achievements, just because I like achievements and achievement hunting. But I mean, it's a fantastic game to go back and play. Personally, I'm not really a fan of the standard layout for the gameplay controls. I like that you get some options in the modern version to play with a bit more modern controls. It's still a bit dated. It's a very dated game nowadays, but I mean, it changed the way first-person shooters were made. So you have to give props to the game. And then, of course, that iconic pause music. I want to make a short with just the pause music, just to put it out there, just so that if you guys are watching my shorts or scrolling through them, you get a couple seconds of bliss, because I think it's just a fantastic. It's super. There's a lot of time that I am playing the game and I'll pause and go do something else, and then I just get to listen to that music, the ambiance, right? It's just fantastic. So I think great game. I think it's worth checking out. I think it's important. It's not my favorite on the list, though. I think it's probably number 3, just because I haven't played 2 of them. Great. I really didn't prep for this. I thought about going buy these games first, and then I'm like, I'm not gonna do that. To be honest, because they came out on a console. I don't have some of them. So, but yeah, GoldenEye. I played it just the other day. I play it often. Next time I see my dad, we'll be playing this as well. Just to kind of go back and, re-experience it, right? So from GoldenEye, which was the first one with Pierce Brosnan's likeness, because, it's got his likeness on the cover, but for the most part, you can't really get character likeness from an N64 game, at least not this one. And then we move on to Tomorrow Never Dies. This one and the next one I've never played. I'm pretty sure they only came out on PlayStation 1. Tomorrow Never Dies and The World Is Not Enough. I've never owned a PlayStation 1 either. They might have come out in N64 as well, but like I said, I never owned that either. But I've heard mixed things about these games. I know people have nostalgia for them. I know people like them. A lot of people like the movies too, so that might be part of it. But me personally, I really felt no drive to go play it, either one of them. Maybe one day I'll give that a shot. I know I'm kind of cheating my way through this, having only played barely half of the games that we're talking about today, but, I digress. It's going to be a shorter video anyway. Just want to kind of give awareness to the Brosnan-era Bond games. And then there's a few other games, I think 007 Racing, is that a Brosnan game? Another one I've never played. I'm a real Bond fan, And I said that gaming was kind of my corner, and I haven't played, probably 50% of them, so guess I'm just a bold-faced liar. But yeah, no. So I've never played Tomorrow Never Dies. Never played Tomorrow Never Dies, yeah. The World Is Not Enough, same situation. And then we move on to Nightfire. This one, my dad had a copy of this for the PC, and I was young. I tried to play it on the computer. I had no idea what to do. I had never played with a keyboard and mouse. I couldn't get past that first mission. I was pretty young. Eventually, I moved on. I grew up, went back and played Nightfire. I went back and picked it up from a game store around me. No case, unfortunately. It was like $2, so of course, right? It's pretty fun. It really is. Threw on the multiplayer, played with my fiance and my dad. We had a lot of fun, or I had a lot of fun watching. We only had 2 controllers, but we rotated. It was fun. It was very fun. I think this game is pretty popular among fans. I'm fairly certain. I think a lot of people like it. I prefer the console version. I think that is generally the opinion. This one ends in space, which is crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. But um, I enjoyed it. I will say, having beaten it, it's definitely up there. I probably like this more than GoldenEye. I think it's more enjoyable, but I don't think it's more important than GoldenEye. Does that make sense? At least for, as far as what it did, Nightfire is just a shooter. More fun and enjoyable to me than GoldenEye, but GoldenEye is GoldenEye, right? All right, moving on before I keep talking about that. Now, this is a great game. I could be blanking or confusing Agent Under Fire, which isn't technically a Brosnan-era Bond game. I mean, it technically is because it came out right before this, but it didn't use his likeness, which is why I didn't include it. But I don't remember if it's Agent Under Fire or Nightfire that has like that ninja boss fight. Insane, insane boss fight. But yeah, technically, there's a lot of elements from Agent Under Fire that are here in Nightfire, so it's not really a sequel. But if you played Agent Under Fire first, you get a lot more appreciation for these characters. So, like I said, not necessarily a sequel, but right. So yeah, I guess I could have included Agent Under Fire. I definitely recommend playing. Like if I'm recommending games to you, uh, Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, and then this next one I'm about to show you are absolutely the ones I'm recommending first and foremost. And I would kind of put it towards your preferences, which one I'd recommend first. But I'll get to that towards the end. And we get the last one, Everything or Nothing. I did a short talk about this, and in my Growing Up with James Bond video, I talked a bit about Everything or Nothing as well. It's a fantastic game. I really do love it. I owned this on the PS2 as a kid, and I own it now on the original Xbox. And it's fantastic. This one has Brosnan's likeness and his voice. This is the first time he actually did voice acting, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure I was looking into that. I mean, it's just fun. It's so fun. So before this one, I don't know about these two, but GoldenEye and Nightfire and Agent Under Fire were all first-person shooters. Everything or Nothing is a third-person shooter, which is just, I prefer those. I prefer third-person. I like being able to see the character. I don't know, there's something about that to me. I get the whole wanting to be immersed in the experience, so first-person can really give you that opportunity to kind of be James Bond, but I don't know. I've just always enjoyed everything. Everything or Nothing, I've always enjoyed that third-person style. And like I said in those videos, there's a few other main actors here. We got Judi Dench as M. We got Willem Dafoe as the main antagonist. Just absolutely, they got all the ingredients right. There's a Jaws boss fight near the beginning of the game, which is fantastic. It's on that train. There's a bunch of, I don't want to call them secrets, but there are. Like, the game will tell you, get in the car and then drive to chase the train. However, if you go the other way, it doesn't tell you there is also a motorcycle equipped with missiles and all kinds of other gadgets that you could take. You don't need to follow what they're telling you. There's a few instances of that in the story where you get to make choices. They don't necessarily tell you that you have a choice, but if you played the game, if you've explored the levels, you find all these shortcuts, all these secrets, and you get to enjoy the game in a whole different way. Um, I always went for the bike. I really did. And then I will say the driving missions in this one were very fun. Same with Agent Under Fire. I enjoyed it there. You get the Aston Martin in this one. I'm pretty sure in Agent Under Fire you got a BMW. I th I don't know if you drive that the whole game. I don't know if I've ever beaten Agent Under Fire. I'm derailing my own thought process here, but Everything or Nothing is more difficult than I remember it being. That was another point I wanted to make. I talked about it. I went back to play it earlier in the week. We had a bit of a rainy day, so I plugged it in, the OG Xbox, and I started playing. Even on the normal difficulty, I couldn't beat the first real level. So there was a tutorial and then an actual. So there was like an intro and then a tutorial, both kind of teaching you the core gameplay. And then you get a first real level, and I could not beat that on the normal difficulty. Skill issue, I'm sure, but um, I put it down on the lowest difficulty and started enjoying the game again. What a surprise! But it's fun. It really is fun. If you are into third person like I am, some people they really have a preference for it. This is one I'd recommend. Uh, Following this from Russia with Love came out, which I won't be talking about today because that uses Sean Connery's likeness and voice. Um, so not really in the Brosnan era. They also did third person there, and I think it worked there as well. But I definitely recommend Everything or Nothing for that. And when it comes to like, I'll recommend GoldenEye to try once, but as far as like really sit down, sink your teeth into, maybe even, you know, I don't want to say spend a little bit of money, but like what I think is worth the money more is either Nightfire or Agent Under Fire for first person shooters. Just kind of depends on your preference. Agent Under Fire, like I said, does not have Pierce Brosnan's likeness, so technically I'm cheating here. But I really think that Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, and Everything or Nothing is an excellent run for EA games. I think especially that's something that's lacking nowadays. They don't really release great titles like these anymore, if ever. But yeah, I absolutely recommend those three. Personal preference, leaning towards Everything or Nothing, but you know, I think the Brosnan-era of games is pretty fantastic because I have heard, I'm pretty sure The World Is Not Enough is a difficult game. I think I've watched a bunch of videos, specifically Calvin Dyson talking about it, and I think I even watched a bit of his gameplay, like a playthrough. I think he said it was a little difficult. I could be mixing them up. I could be just misremembering as well, but I've heard that they're decent enough games, and if you like Pierce Brosnan as James Bond, definitely give him a shot. I would say Pierce Brosnan really, like, his presence as James Bond is only strengthened by the fact that he has so many games. I think that it really does a lot for him because a lot of the other Bonds they don't have that kind of stuff. But I grew up with gaming Bond. I grew up with Everything or Nothing. I grew up watching my dad play Nightfire because I couldn't figure it the fuck out. Agent Under Fire as well, but you know, for a while I did think it was him. It was in first person. I thought it was just like a comic stylized version of Pierce Brosnan, but it was not. So, and then of course GoldenEye is absolutely iconic. But yeah, so that was me briefly talking about the Brosnan era games. I just kind of wanted to ramble a bit for this one. I know probably not the big exposition piece I initially sought out to make, but you know, when you're crunching on time, maybe I'll remake this a little bit better. Once I've played them all, I probably will remake it. But I still stand by Everything or Nothing being one of the best games I've played in my childhood, and Nightfire being just an absolutely solid game. Um, so yeah, go ahead. Let me know what you guys think down below if you played them, if you haven't played them, or whether my opinions are trash, and whether or not I should have fully included Agent Under Fire as a title. I kind of did as many times as I brought it up, but all right, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go now. Thank you all for stopping by. All right, later, everyone.